What comes to your mind when you hear the phrase, "What's in your wallet?" If you've been brainwashed by all the billion-dollar marketing campaigns like me, you'd automatically think of credit cards. It's hard to imagine a world where credit card didn't exist. They control a major aspect of our financial lives, giving us ease of transaction, at the same time the source of our financial stress for millions of Americans. According to research by Value Penguin, an average American household credit card debt is $5,700. 41.2% of all American households carry some sort of credit card debt. Households with the lowest net worth, 0 to negative, hold an average of $10,308 in their credit card debt. However, on the flip side, credit cards do add significant value to our lives. They assist in improving our credit scores that allows us to get great interest rates when purchasing homes. They record all our transactions in one place, making it easy to monitor our finances. And they earn rewards or cash back that can be put towards future purchases. The key is how we effectively use these little plastic cards so we control them instead of them controlling us. Hi, my name is Tay from Financial Tortoise, a channel dedicated to creating personal finance content for the sandwich generation. In this video, I'll share with you 5 best tips on how to use your credit cards wisely so you can juice all the benefits of using a credit card while avoiding all the negatives. Before we start, I've timestamped each habit, so if there's any part of the video that you'd like to skip, then don't worry, it's all right there in the description. Let's get right to it. Number 1, never carry a credit card balance. The first and the most important rule is to never carry a balance. Pay off your balance full every month. A lesson on how credit card balances work. When you carry a balance, the credit card company charges interest on top of your initial purchase. Interest rates for credit card companies range from 14 to 30%. This means that if you buy something that costs $100 and you don't pay it off in full before the due date, it will cost you an extra $14 to $30. You roll this balance month to month, and the $500 flat screen television you bought at Black Friday special for a great deal could end up costing you $1,000 when you add up all the accrued interest. Not such a great deal anymore. I remember my first week of college at the University of California, Irvine. Go Zot Zot. I was walking through the campus student center so excited to finally call myself an adult and a college student when a booth that was giving away free t-shirts caught my eye. And they said all I had to do was just fill out some form to get a credit card that would proudly display my university's mascot, the Anteaters. A few months later, after having paid only the minimum payments, I was straddled with $1,000 of credit card debt and a harsh lesson on accrued interest. Avoid credit card interest rates by paying your balance in full every month. Credit card companies love it when people fail to pay off their entire credit card bill at the end of each billing cycle. They make huge amounts of money when the user fails to pay off their entire credit card bill. This is one way credit cards can become super expensive. They can be great tools, but if it's not used correctly, they can end up costing you a fortune. The second habit to master, always pay on time. Never be late with your credit card payment. Credit card companies are in the business to make money, and they love it when people don't pay on time. Not only will you waste money from the accrued interest and additional late charge fees, you'll also damage your credit report. Credit scoring systems take late credit card payments into consideration when determining your score. This can make it more difficult for you to get approved for loans or securing the lowest interest rate because any blemishes on your record are associated with a higher risk for defaulting. Friends don't let friends miss their credit card payment. If you can't afford to pay the balance in full, at least pay the minimum payment. The easiest way to avoid this ridiculous error is to set up automatic payment. All credit card companies allow you to do this on their website, and you never have to worry about forgetting a due date. If for some reason you accidentally miss a payment, give the credit card company a call. They're usually lenient with their first timers, and you can get your fee waived as well as avoiding damages to your credit report. Third habit, never use credit card cash advance. As I mentioned earlier, credit card companies are in the business of making money. So they'll come up with all sorts of ways to get you to use your credit cards as often as possible. One of them is cash advance, using a credit card like an ATM so you can have access to cash. To me, this ranks up there as one of the biggest credit card sins. Cash advances aren't subject to the same term as traditional credit cards, so they come with a very expensive price tag. High interest rate. Cash advances come with super high interest rates, much higher than the regular interest rates on the credit card. For example, credit card companies can charge anywhere from 20 to 30%. In my mind, it's a criminal to charge that much in interest rate. Fees. Cash advance comes with additional fees. There are cash advance fees and ATM fees which you'll have to pay on top of the interest. This can range up to $20 or a percentage of the amount you withdraw. Immediate accrual. and they'll start charging interest rate on the amount you pull the moment you get the cash. So when it comes to cash advance, just don't do it. It could sound like a good idea when you're in a pinch, but trust me when I say it, it's not. Credit card cash advances can be a quick way to dig yourself deeper into debt and end up costing you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars very quickly. Habit number 4, evaluate rewards carefully. To be fully transparent, I'm a big fan of credit card travel rewards. By responsibly using Travel Rewards credit card, I was able to take my family to places like Hawaii and Asia for the fraction of the cost. However, I've also seen people who went too far with all these rewards credit card and paid a hefty price. Whatever free stuff you're offered, they're not a good deal if you're paying extra to receive them. If you're someone who pays off their credit card in full each month, then credit card rewards can be a great way to get free stuff. However, if you do carry a balance from time to time or struggle to stay on top of your credit card bills, you want to stay away from being enticed into rewards credit card. Few tips. Annual fees. If you have a card with an annual fee, make sure you evaluate its worth carefully. For example, I once had a credit card with a $450 annual fee, and it came with an airline credit of $300. So in my case, the credit card was worth the annual fee since I travel frequently for work. However, if you're someone who doesn't spend a lot on airfare, then this type of credit card might not be worth it. Benefits. If you have a credit card with perks like purchase protection, rental insurance, or access to airport lounges, make sure to use them. What's the point of having these cards if you don't take full advantage of its benefits? You're already paying the annual fee. Make sure you read all the fine prints to maximize the value you're getting from each card. Habit number 5. Monitor credit report regularly. Credit cards are vulnerable to fraudulent transactions. We always have a few in our wallet and use it for most of our transactions. As such, it is very important that you monitor your credit report. The Fair Credit Reporting Act entitles everyone to 1 free credit report a year through their website. However, there are free services that let you check your credit report more frequently. Credit Karma is one such service that I use to monitor my credit report. You have to create an account to use their service, but it's a great way to regularly monitor your credit report. You can even have a service that sends you email alerts if there are new credit inquiries against your account. As a good habit, put a reminder on your calendar to check your credit report at least once a month to keep an eye out on any unauthorized transactions or fraudulent activities. Another good habit is to use a consolidated view of accounts through online software like Personal Capital or Mint, so you can monitor all your charges from one portal. This saves me a lot of time from having to log into multiple accounts, given I have more than one credit card. Credit card companies are required by law to report credit data on your credit report within 30 days, but it can take longer for other lenders like mortgage providers or car dealerships. So make sure you check your credit regularly so you can catch any potential fraudulent charges. Thank you guys for watching. If you found value from this video, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any of my other upcoming videos. I firmly believe that being part of the Sandwich generation doesn't have to mean financial stress. With careful planning and preparation, we can thrive during this stage of life. Help me spread the knowledge. Thank you again, and I'll see you in my next video.